everyone, and welcome back to another video. I am Gamer Panda, and today we are doing Football Manager 23. We are playing with Treaty United here in Ireland to do a Build a Nation save with Ireland. Who would have guessed? Sorry. Basically, we want to make Ireland the best team in the world because currently we're 46th place in the rankings. Oopsies. We are behind the likes of Canada, Turkey, Algeria, Nigeria, South Korea, and ahead of teams such as Greece, North Macedonia, Iceland, Venezuela, right? But we want to be up here competing with Brazil, Belgium, Argentina, France, England, all these we want to be better than England because, Ireland. But this is how it's going to work. We are Treaty United in the second division in Ireland. We want to get promoted as soon as possible, get into the Irish Premier Division, right? And once we've done that, then we can try and get into the Champions League, get into Europe. And once we've done that, we can do that consistently, become the best team in Ireland, topple these teams, all winning it again and again. And that will make Ireland a better nation. It'll get the coefficient up, which will in turn give us better players from youth intakes, which will make Ireland better. A better team in general. This is my character. He's repping the Ireland colors, the green hair, the white jacket, and the orange pants. And yeah, so what's gonna happen is I will go through the season. I will play all the games off camera, and then at the end of the season, in September, when the season's done, I will go through and I will show you guys how I did. And I'll do the same thing kind of with Ireland. As we go through, I'll come back. Maybe I will come back. And then I'll tell you how we did in the international games, which we just have friendlies. Liechtenstein right now and Peru. I'll tell you how we did in those games at the end of the season. And that's how it's going to work. I'll come back once I have made a tactic. Okay, I have made a tactic. We are going to play a 4-3-3 like this. Okay, so we're going to play with an advanced forward on attack. We're going to play with two inside forwards. I think that's what they are, inside forwards. I like it because they cut inside, which allows a bit more room for my wing backs to bomb forward, which I also really like. We've also got Spain on our side. We've got a whole country. Not really, but Spain. He's a youngster. He's looking pretty good. He's 20 years old. He's decent for our league. We're going to use Spain to our advantage because he's just a whole country. Yeah, okay. Yeah, but other than that, we're going to play with ball-playing defenders because I like them. The wingbacks on support, so they aren't really going up too much or too often. I do want them to go forward, but I just want them to be more support. We're playing with a center mid on attack because that works well for me, and that's worked well for me in the past. A deep lying playmaker because I want a bit more solidity, kind of. I don't want him getting too far forward. And a defensive midfielder to sit ahead of our ball-playing defenders. We've also got a sweeper keeper on support. And yeah, positive mentality, because that seems to work the best for me in possession. Slightly higher tempo, shorter passing, working the ball into the box, mixed crosses. I might adjust that. In transition, counter press. So when we get the ball, or when we've lost the ball, we press immediately, no dilly-dallying. When we win the ball, we go straight on the attack, try to catch him out. When the goalkeeper gets it, we want him to distribute it quickly to the backs or the fullbacks. We want the goalkeeper just to play it short, taking no risks, and that's here to take short kicks. When we're out of position, we're going to hold a standard defensive line with a high press of engagement. It might be a little bit there might be some gaps in the center of the field, but I want to prevent that short goalkeeper distribution, I should say. That high press allows that. It'll also allow us to tell us to start pressing way higher up the field and the standard line, so if they try to catch us out on a counter or something, our defense hopefully won't be too far forward. I've also told a lot of my defensive players to tackle harder, which means I want crunching tackles coming in all over the field. I don't want to play get stuck in, because that increases it even more for everyone, but I just put 4, 5, 6 players saying, I want crunching tackles. This is the tactic that we're going to run with at the start of the season, see how that takes us, see if we can get promoted in the first season. The board want us playoffs minimum. We're predicted to finish just outside the playoffs. We've got no one in here. And to make things even better, we've got no money to spend in the transfer market in this first season. So we're going to have to look for loans, players that we can bring in, sell some players, free up some money, maybe promote some young players if there are any good ones. I forgot to turn off the tutorials. Maybe this guy, he's not very good. Maybe he could play this guy, maybe, just in case. The under-19 squad has some decent players for the future. They're all loan listed, but that's how we're going to play the start of the season. Do some friendlies, go through the friendlies, see how things work, and then hopefully we can win the whole league, maybe. Get far in the cups. That's our goal. Our summer signings kicked off with Dean Larkin coming in on loan from Waterford in the Premier Division. He's a good backup midfielder. We had 0 backup midfielders, so I needed to bring some players in on loan. He's a decent player. He will be playing mostly backup. He's not really good enough for the division, but he's here on loan. If he's not good enough, we're not paying anything, so he can just rot on the bench. He'll get recalled. No impact to us financially. O'Reilly. We were also lacking in defenders because we only had a couple in a preseason friendly that I played. I realized that we didn't have any true backup center back fullbacks. So I brought in Osen O'Reilly, who can play in that center back fullback, 6 foot tall. He's also here on loan from Galway United, who play in our same division. He is going to be a backup player in case of injury or tiredness. The next player I brought in was Baba Odiko from Wigan Athletic from League One. Like I was saying, we had pretty much no backup midfielders, so I needed to bring in a couple. I brought in Baba here. He's okay. I think I promised that he would be a starter, regular starter, so that's what he's going to do. We're paying £40 a week, so for the duration of the loan, so we're going to need to make the most out of him. Play him as many games as we can before he goes back. He's 18, he's young, he'll just get better. I also brought in Conan Noonan, who I brought in as a true winger option for either side. He can play left wing, right wing. I brought him on loan from Shamrock Rovers. He's played in the Premier Division, so that's a huge pickup from us, bringing him down a division. He's okay. He's a good backup winger. He can play, he can start, he can be a backup. Doesn't really matter as long as he performs. Daniel Blackburn, I brought him on a free because we needed a right back. He can play center back, but he's gonna play right back. I paid a lot of money. Well, he was free, but I'm paying him a lot of money. £275 a week. That's so much money for a club. And because of these that we're broke, we're negative £256 down, which is not good because now I'm gonna be taking money out of here, which will make our club finances go down, which will make us go bankrupt. So that is not what we want to see. That is not what we want to see. We started our league campaign with a great turnaround game against Longford. Then we went undefeated until the end of March, but we had only won 2 of the games. Then March came along. Bray Wanderers 2-0 up at halftime. We just collapsed in the 10 minutes after the break. They scored 3. We couldn't come back. They just were the better team in the second half. They deserved it more. We had maybe 1 shot in the second half, and we ended up losing, which sent us into a bit of a spiral where then we lost to Cork 3-0, lost to Longford, who we beat 3-1 earlier in the season. 3-0. Then we lost to Waterford. 4 games in a row we lost. We managed to grab a win again at Wexford. And as you can see, it's just kind of up and down. We had some really terrible spells. Like, we would win a game, lose. We went on a 3-4 match unbeaten streak. Lost 2 in a row, came back, and then this run to the end of the season. What's that, like 6-7 games without a win? And that really did not do us any favors. And as you might have seen here, we did get the playoffs. We finished 4th, quite a ways behind 3rd place Galway, who did end up beating us in the playoffs. It's a bit of a disappointing season, maybe, but we were not expected to even get into the playoffs based on the season preview. So we've got to be pretty proud that we got 4th. We were quite a bit, 7 points or something above Longford. And we did lose as many games as we won. We pretty much had the same record. We lost, we tied, we won pretty much the same amount of games for the entire season. That's not what we want. Like, if you look at the top of the table, they played way better than us. Now, moving on to the Cups. In this one, we got drawn up against Dundalk, the big cup. We ended up getting demolished. This was in one of our runs of really bad form in the league. We lost 4-0. Not surprising, because they're a division above us. And then in the second cup, we did go on a bit of a run. This game was crazy. That's the wrong button. This game was crazy. We were 2-0 down at the break. We got a goal back. George, I subbed on the 83rd minute, came off the bench and scored 5 to put us through 6-2. This is a fully rotated team from the one that I was playing at the start of the season, because the board said they don't really care about it. So I was like, okay, I don't really care about it. It would be nice if we won. So I put out the reserves. George came off the bench, scored 5. He did nothing after that. He scored 1 goal. He didn't even score a goal in the league. He just scored 5 goals. He played 9 times. I couldn't really trust him, but that's how we went in the cup. And then we got drawn up against Cork City, who beat us 2-0 in the semi-final. In terms of players, Enda Karan was our main goal scorer. He scored 24 goals, which is pretty good. I believe he finished... Yes, he is the top goal scorer in the division. It's a bit of a shame that we couldn't do more with him scoring so many goals. He is 30, though. But I'll keep him around for next year. We might offload him in a couple of years. That's what we're going to do. A lot of these lone players underachieved. He was one of them that actually did stuff. Conan Noonan, 4 goals, 4 assists. Not too bad. Black Brine, he was not very good. I'll probably look to offload him in the summer or winter, because we start in, it's, you know what I mean. Okay, but he got 1 assist all season. We didn't have any good players to really back him up. Spain, he was kind of there. He's sort of okay. He didn't really do anything going forward, which I would have wanted. Maybe grab a goal from a corner, play a good ball forward, but he didn't do that. Yeah, but apart from that, a disappointing season. I did sign this guy at the start in the summer window, but he didn't really do anything. Didn't really improve our defense, because I was just sick of this guy. He would not listen to a single thing that I told him. I said play it short. He would constantly play it far, so I brought in Barnes. But that's pretty much the end of the season. We didn't have the best season ever. Let's just hope that Galway United go up, because then I'd feel much better about having lost to them. But apart from that, in the league, this is how it finishes in the division above us. Finn Harps is most likely going to be joining us in the 2nd division next year. They're 5 points behind UCD, who will probably be in the playoffs, but it's not looking too good for them. I don't actually know who's in Europe for this season. Wait, because Europe hasn't started yet. But yeah, that's how it goes. For the Ireland, it was pretty good. Our first game, we beat Liechtenstein. We lost to Peru a couple days later. The Nations League started off rough. We lost to Armenia. We beat Scotland. Then we lost to Ukraine. And then we beat Armenia. And that all happened in one window. So 4 games in like a week while the league was going on, because the 2nd division doesn't have any stoppages for international breaks. Then we beat Ukraine, and at that point it was either us or Armenia, I think, that would have gotten promoted. We just had to beat Scotland again in Scotland, but we couldn't. So that means we finish 2nd. Armenia go up on 10 points. We finish ahead, 1 point behind Ukraine, and then Scotland is going down. So a decent start to our Ireland career, but nothing spectacular. No promotions. I would have loved to be promoted into Division A. We would have been relegated most likely, but that is the end of the season. Thank you so much for watching. And before we go, we'll look at our youth players. And there's no one really that good. Nothing spectacular. Couple of strikers. I'll probably grab a couple of them. Maybe they'll be decent. But thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time.